Welcome to FacXJunction.
Imagine a narrow stretch of water, just about 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Now imagine that nearly one-fifth of the world's oil passes through that single corridor every day. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Welcome back to FacXJunction. Today, we explore why this small waterway holds enormous power over the global economy, energy markets, and geopolitical stability. And what would really happen if it were closed? What is the Strait of Hormuz? The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow passage connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. On one side lies Iran. On the other side, the United Arab Emirates and Oman. This small stretch of water serves as the only sea route for major oil-producing countries in the Gulf region to export crude oil to the rest of the world. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, and the UAE rely heavily on this route to transport oil and liquefied natural gas. At its narrowest shipping lane, vessels move through channels just a few kilometers wide in each direction. That means traffic here is intense, controlled, and extremely sensitive to tension. Why is it so special? The Strait of Hormuz is often called the world's most important oil choke point. Around 20% of global petroleum consumption flows through it daily. It is not just oil. Liquefied natural gas exports, especially from Qatar, also pass through this route. Because of this, Asia depends on it for energy security. Europe monitors it for price stability. The United States keeps strategic attention on it. Any disruption here immediately affects global oil prices. Even rumors of tension can cause markets to react. This is not just geography. This is global economic leverage, its role in the world economy. Energy drives transportation, manufacturing, electricity generation, aviation, and even food production. When oil prices rise sharply, fuel becomes expensive. Airfares increase. Shipping costs rise. Inflation spreads across economies. Since oil traded globally is priced on supply and demand expectations, even temporary instability in the Strait of Hormuz can push prices upward. Financial markets react quickly. Investors shift assets. Governments activate emergency reserves. So while it may look like just a thin blue line on a map, its impact touches almost every country. What if it were closed? Now let us explore the critical question. What if the Strait of Hormuz were completely closed? First, global oil supply would drop sharply in the short term. Oil prices could spike dramatically. Stock markets may experience volatility. Countries heavily dependent on Gulf oil, especially in Asia, would feel immediate pressure. Some oil could be redirected through pipelines, but alternatives are limited and cannot fully replace maritime transport through the strait. Strategic petroleum reserves might be used to stabilize supply temporarily. However, prolonged closure would create high fuel inflation, global shipping delays, economic slowdown in multiple regions. It would not just be a regional issue. It would be a worldwide economic event. Current situation and reality. Despite periodic tensions in the region, the Strait of Hormuz remains open. Multiple international naval presences ensure freedom of navigation. Global economies understand how critical stability is in this corridor. Even during high tensions in the past, full closure has never occurred. Why? Because the economic consequences would affect not just one country, but the entire world, including the region itself. The Strait of Hormuz teaches us something powerful. In today's interconnected world, a narrow waterway can influence global stability. Geography shapes economics, economics shapes politics, and small spaces can hold massive importance. If you found this breakdown informative, support FacXJunction by liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing for more deep global insights. Comment below. Do you think the world is too dependent on single trade routes? Let's discuss.
Thanks for watching FacXJunction.